Hey everybody, welcome back to Matthew's Guyanese Cooking. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing a quick and easy and simple recipe for this Guyanese style sponge cake. Now, in honor of the holiday season that is fastly approaching, I know that everybody's going to be getting in their kitchens and making their black cake, their fruit cake, their sponge cake, and so many other delicious things. I just wanted to share my updated recipe for this sponge cake, and I hope you all enjoy. This was soft, fluffy, and perfect, so definitely give it a try. If you want to see all of the ingredients and the proper measurements, everything will be left in the description box right below this video. Just click on the drop down menu and scroll down and everything will be listed right there. So in a bowl, I'm starting off with my dried ingredients. I'm going to be going in with some all-purpose flour as well as some baking powder. At this point, I'm also going to be going in with a little bit of salt. Whenever you're making any sweets or baked goods, it's always nice to go in with a little pinch of salt just to round out the sweet flavor. And I'm also going to be going in with some freshly grated nutmeg. If you wanted to, you can add in any other spices of your choice, or if you wanted to as well and you wanted it very plain, you can also omit the nutmeg. But for me, the nutmeg adds a really nice flavor. So once you get all of those dried ingredients mixed up properly, you're going to set them aside and we're going to start to work on the wet ingredients. So in my stand mixer bowl, I'm going in with some softened, unsalted butter. But once you get this into your bowl, you're also going to go in with some white sugar. Now, I like to use white sugar when making my sponge cake because I don't want my sponge cake to be brown. But of course, if you wanted to use brown sugar, you can also do that. Just going to go ahead and cream this butter and sugar very well for about 7 to 8 minutes until it is light, fluffy, and very light in texture. Now, while the butter and sugar are creaming, we're going to go ahead and work on the eggs. So in a little bowl or a cup or whatever you want to put them in, you're going to crack all of your eggs in and you're going to go in with some almond extract or almond essence. This is my preferred flavoring whenever I make sponge cake. If you wanted to add in vanilla or mixed essence or any other types of flavorings, feel free to add them in at this time. But all I'm going to go ahead and do is whisk all of these ingredients up very well. So my butter and sugar has been whipping for about 7 to 8 minutes at this point, and as you all can see, it's very white in color. It's lightened up a lot. The texture is very fluffy, and this is exactly where you want it to be. You're also going to feel that most of the sugar granules are dissolved. So once your butter and sugar are whipped up properly and creamed together, we're going to start to stream in the eggs a little bit at a time. Now, some people, when they do their baking, they will add in one egg at a time and mix it in. That is totally fine. You can do it that way. But I like to do it this way by mixing all the eggs and then just pouring it in a little bit at a time because I find that the eggs mix in much more evenly than if you did it one egg at a time. Sometimes you get a very curdled batter when you add in your eggs too fast. And while that's okay, it doesn't usually affect the texture of the cake. I just prefer to have everything nice and smooth as you see here. Make sure every once in a while you're going into your bowl and you're scraping down the sides and getting to the bottom so everything is mixed in properly. And once you get the eggs all mixed in, you're going to start to stream in your dried ingredients a little bit at a time. What I like to do is keep the mixer on the lowest speed, and then I'll take a spoonful of that dried mixture and I will add it in one spoonful at a time until everything is mixed in. Remember, whenever you're making a cake batter and you're adding in flour, you do not want to overmix because if you overmix it, you're going to get a tough, dense, and a dry cake. So once everything is combined, you're good to go, your batter is done. However, I like to take it up a notch just a little bit. One of my little touches that I like to do is I like to go in with a little bit of maraschino cherry juice. Now this is totally optional, I just like the flavor that it gives. Some people, like my grandmother, will actually chop up the maraschino cherries and add it into her sponge cake, but I like to add in a little bit of the juice just so this way I get a little bit of that flavor and a slight little pink color. And being that it is the holiday season, I wanted to add just a little drop of red or pink food coloring in, and I'm not going to mix it all the way. As soon as I add it into the batter, I'm going to turn off my mixer, so this way there's a little bit of swirl left inside. I have a 9-inch circular baking pan, and I went ahead and I buttered it very well. I added in some flour at the bottom, and I greased it properly. And at this point, I'm just spreading the batter in, and I'm smoothing it out. You're going to see that when I cut into this cake later, the red swirls or the pink swirls from that food coloring are going to be showing through. I'm going to go ahead and pop this into my oven that's been preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is going to bake for about 40 to 45 minutes. Again, depending on the pan that you use, the temperature of your oven, and the thickness of the cake, it might take a little less or a little more time. So just go ahead and gauge it. When you feel that your cake is done, you're going to go ahead and stick a toothpick in the top, and you're going to go ahead and take the toothpick out. And if you see that the toothpick is clean, then you'll know that the cake is done. You're going to want to let that cake cool in the baking pan, and once it's fully cool, you can go ahead and invert it and put it on your cake stand like I have here. For me today, I'm going to go ahead and dust this with some powdered sugar. I just want to go ahead and cut into this sponge cake and show you all how soft, how moist, and how beautiful this sponge cake came out. This is honestly one of my favorite sponge cakes that I made because although it is super simple to make and it doesn't have much ingredients, the flavors were really there, and especially with that almond extract and the nutmeg, it makes for a perfect sponge cake. And of course, when you cut through it, you should see that beautiful pink little swirl that we added in with the food coloring, and you can mess around with different food colorings and decorations and make it your own. I hope you all enjoyed this video today. Please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet. And of course, drop those comments down below and let me know what you all would like to see next. And I'll see you guys again in my next video. Until next time, bye guys.